Welcome, one and all, to the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast here with all of these great people, these indomitable gentlemen with mind-blowing. I'm still reeling from the fallout of SummerSlam, folks. We're here with our review, with all of the takes, all of the fallout, everything you need to know about SummerSlam. I am your King of Extreme, Phil K.O.E. You can find me at K.O.E Nation on YouTube and Spotify, or YouTube and Twitch. Spotify is where you can find the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast. How silly of me. And I am joined by my indomitable broadcast partners. First, the one, the only,
Tony fucking G. Like, share, subscribe, folks. It's right here. You see the button above my head. Do it. It's the right thing to do. You will not regret it. I promise.
And we are also, is with a heavy heart that I must announce, folks, that we are joined by the reigning, defending, undisputed Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast champion, Chicken, the head of the table of the Big Bucket Empire, the one, the only. Now, Chicken, I will say, well done. Champion's advantage takes a tie, just like a champion's advantage takes a disqualification.
Exactly.
Okay? So you eked one out, because your King of Extreme, Phil K.O.E., and Chicken here got the exact same score tonight, even though trying to avoid ties. This fucking guy. But, folks, thank you.
You can change the rules. You can change the rules, but
yes, folks, we are going to get into that. We're going to get deep into it very soon. My goodness gracious. So, SummerSlam, it started off with what was going to be the opening match. None of us got that right. And it was...
No, starting completely off the beginning. On the pre-show was a match that we didn't even know was going to happen. We had Big E against Baron Corbin. And Big E, of course, is the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. Baron Corbin has been doing this I'm broke, I can't afford to live anymore shtick ever since he lost his title of King Corbin. And he's been doing a really good job at this. Like, this has been one of the lone bright spots in WWE, is his commitment to this nonsense. This was a fine match. It was a kickoff match. It had no implications whatsoever. We didn't even know about it. We all would have picked Big E anyway. Does not matter, but Big E did pick up the win. Moving on to the main card, we did have, surprisingly, none of us saw this coming, but in hindsight, we should have. This was a great way to start the show out. 52,000 people. This was an awesome way to kick the show off. Everybody was into this thing. You had AJ and Omos defending the Raw Tag Team titles against RK Bro, Riddle, and Orton. And this thing was actually a really solid match. Orton's a veteran. AJ's incredible. Riddle is fire, and Omos was there.
Yes, he was present.
He was in the match.
He's a big guy.
He was in the way.
Yes,
in the match. Yes, he was. Yes, he was there in the match doing things.
In the way in the match. And
yes,
almost injured half the participants. So yeah, he was there.
He did a good job at that.
He did amazing at that, and the way he stood there and didn't take bumps. Inspirational stuff there. Amazing.
He took a step off the ring once.
He teased it, and then, yes, he kind of gingerly stepped off the apron. Like, amazing performance.
I was kind of amazed at how AJ was still able to wrestle around him.
I know, yeah. Even when he just stood in the way.
When he didn't do anything, and he landed on his shoulder. And
amazing.
Yeah, that was well done on the part of AJ Styles and Randy Orton. Just, two veterans going out doing what they know how to do best. And then you had Matt Riddle showing that he can actually play with the big boys. So, and almost like it was said, can say he can vote present.
The flipping launching reverse DDT on the outside, AJ to Riddle.
Hang on one second. Again, this philosopher king, just a genius asking. No, you see, guys, this is why I must. It's not that I want to run for president. The people of this country are demanding it. They are demanding Phil K.O.E. run for president in 2024. And yes, to all you beautiful people, I shall do that just for you in 2024.
Okay.
I have announced my candidacy for the presidency of the United States of America in 2024. Do the right thing.
Okay.
Vote
All right.
extreme.
Well, while Phil's distracted with that, let's get back to the matches.
So yeah, this was a really good
While
opener.
the world is distracted.
The crowd was on fire for this. Everybody, it was teased. Riddle finally gets that hot tag. Randy gets in. They loved this match. It was a really good opener. I liked it. RK Bro does pick up the win and becomes the new tag team champions. I gave it 3 stars. Phil, you agreed at 3. Chicken, you liked it just a smidge more at 3.25.
Yeah, exactly. Because the almost thing, you just pull him out of there, and it's a way better match.
Yeah.
Like you could have made this a 2-on-1,
Yeah.
and it would have been a way more technical, smooth match. So I don't want to take points away just because of almost AJ.
I think we did.
We probably did.
You guys did. Definitely did. I took him out of the equation 3-2-5, even with the weird bumps.
Yeah, no, it was a really good opener. And after you follow a really good opener like that, you gotta keep the crowd entertained. You gotta keep them in it. So what better way to do that than give them one of the worst matches on the fucking show? Yanked Up Podcast. As much as I want to hang out, that was long, and I'm beat. And have a good show, fellas. Chicken, I will see you in 4 weeks with a bottle. Yes, Team Tony. I was once again the only one with a set of balls, and I was only a point behind. But we will get into that.
I took Rollins. Thank you.
Nobody
very much.
cares.
I didn't take Charlotte.
Nobody cares that you took Rollins.
I do.
Well, in hindsight,
the K.O.E. Nation,
In hindsight,
the
yes.
thousands upon tens of thousands, possibly
As
millions.
I was saying, so how do you follow up a really good opener? You give them one of the worst matches on the card. Love her to death, but Alexa Bliss against Eva Marie. Here's the thing.
Less said, the better.
Here's the thing. Eva Marie, this is like what, her 3rd stint on the main roster. You've released guys like Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt, and even really good women's wrestlers like Mickie James, to bring in Eva Marie to suck this bet. This woman can't carry a match to save her life, and this was a fucking clinic of that. Her manager did better in this match by doing nothing. Alexa carried this thing by doing all character work, because the match itself, there was no wrestling here. It was bullshit. It was Eva Marie slapping a doll. It was her slapping Alexa with the doll, and Alexa finally got the win, and it was just a terrible match all around. And then there was a bunch of nonsense on the side outside after the match with I'm gonna put your robe on. Eva Marie is 8 shades of terrible. Cannot stand her in the ring. This is awful. I gave it 1.25. Alexa gets the win, and that's the only reason I graded it as high as I did. Chicken gave it 1.
Yeah.
Phil, you liked it just a smidge more than me. 1.5. Defend that.
I just figured it's not as bad as some of the worst matches we've ever seen.
It was fucking close.
Yeah.
It was fucking close.
Oh, no, granted, yeah. Eva Marie wasn't exactly going out there and giving us like Frank Gotch. Okay, it was.
Eva Marie barely went out there and gave us Eva Marie.
That is true. Yes.
She's horrible. I'm sorry. I can't get behind it. She's just not good. She's never going to be good. And there's a lot more talented women out there that deserve to spot. They deserve to keep their jobs. But no, this was fucking vital. We had to get her back on the roster to do what? Have more shitty matches?
Well, John Laurinaitis is in charge, T.
I don't care. I don't care. This is ridiculous.
These are the kind of talents that we need now. You don't understand, Vince. This is what's hot. This is what's new.
This is why they're falling apart from the inside. So yeah, this was terrible, but they did follow it up with a fairly decent match, the United States title match. Sheamus defending against Damian Priest, and we all had Damian Priest. And
oh god, there's a couple times I didn't know if Damian Priest was going to live.
Yeah, this got sketchy.
Now, Chicken, Damian Priest survived zombies. I think he's going to be able to take
yes,
out.
that's true.
I think he's going to be able to take out.
There's no taking
Sheamus, almost a superhero.
Yeah, well, yeah, Sheamus did come in with his best Green Hornet impression with his mask. It was Beautiful.
Stand back. There's a Sheamus coming through.
When Damian Priest did the big barrel roll over the top rope to the outside, he lands square on his tailbone, and you could tell it jacked him up for the rest of the night.
Yeah, that changed
slowed
the whole
everything down.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
Like, we were all worried, like, did he have a bit of a back injury there?
But no, overall, I really thought this was a decent match. I mean, we all expected Damian Priest to walk out the new champ, and he did. Solid match all around. I can't really begrudge anybody, but that spot where he probably did hurt himself a little bit. Did hurt the overall quality.
Or a little bit, I'm betting.
Yeah. I gave it 3.25, as did Phil. Chicken, you gave it a 3.
Yeah, the chance of injury on a couple of those. Like Damian Priest had no business doing a couple of those.
Yeah.
Especially like the first one, I get like landing wrong. Like he took a short dive on those ropes. Like he didn't get enough longevity on that. Yeah. Which like you can forgive that. Yeah. But like to continue trying to do these big moves after your back's a little fucked up, it's not only injuring yourself potentially, but it's injuring your opponent. Yeah. Like I don't know, I had a little bit less enjoyment of the match because I was like, no,
you're just cringing at that point.
Yeah, and not only that, you're like, he's still gonna try this shit, knowing he can injure his partner.
Yeah.
Like,
well, to me, it wasn't even that. It's this guy's got such a look, and he's got just such a presence. He doesn't need to climb the top rope because Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock and even Triple H throw them all in there, and look how far they made it in the business, and it wasn't ever once going off the top rope. Howdy, y'all. Who we got here?
I don't know.
Glacial
Moosher or
all
something.
Right. Welcome, Glacial.
Welcome, all K.O.E Nation viewers here. We are doing a SummerSlam review and just going over it. So do not worry. Your beautiful King of Extreme will stay right in the middle of the screen, but
I think
I'm sharing the show with these two marvelous gentlemen.
Anyway, I think the biggest thing to take away from this was they did definitely realize what we've all been realizing is that they got to get the stink of all the awful stuff that they put Damian Priest through this year since calling him up.
The zombies. You can't get the stink of zombies off of you.
No, I still can't watch a show and just enjoy it because of that shit. So this is a step in the right direction.
Otherwise you'll catch the zombie virus.
Yeah. God forbid.
True.
So this was a step in the right direction. I'm glad to see and they gave him time afterwards.
Gotta have your weekly booster
with the title. Shut up. They showcased him in a way that puts
Thanks.
him over.
We're gonna have one of those little context things in this video.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So yeah, kudos to Damian Priest. First title on the main roster. I like it. Thank you. They are also a little bit smudged, but I trudge on.
Yes, dads. It stays here.
Me and Chicken tied at 12 points, so we both called a perfect show, spare one match.
Yep.
And
which has been the whole year for me.
We'll get there just a second. Let's move on to the next match, was the Usos against the Mysterios for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And boy, howdy, did Rey Mysterio pick up a lot of the slack for his son in this one, and the Usos did what they do best.
Which is,
and you know what that is? That's have the match that the Young Bucks wish they could have.
Oh, ouch. It's like, there's not a whole lot of hands that Vince can call on and just say, hey, Usos,
go out and do good wrestling.
Yes, we need you to go out and just do very, very good wrestling.
Can you do that? Oh, you can? Go do that again.
Just at the drop of a hat? Yeah. We do it every night, Vince. Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were on fire here. It didn't matter.
Even then, Dominic just about killed one of them with a suplex.
Honestly, I think my favorite Dominic spot in this entire match was when he ate the ring post face first.
Yeah,
breaker.
Yeah. I don't know. He was not on his A game here. Ray was on fire. You kind of knew what was going to happen in this match, considering that the Mysterios came out looking like a pack of Starbursts with pastel pink and yellow ring gear. Wasn't
hey, little fettuccine, how we doing?
Hey, missed the whole pay-per-view. I saw Brock return, though. How was the pay-per-view? Honestly, you know what? This was actually a pretty decent show.
We're actually just getting into it. So
52,000 strong in Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. And
nice.
this show, you know what? The crowd was pretty much on point throughout the entire thing here. There was only
especially through the Goldberg match.
Exactly. There was only a couple of times where
they were very
really
much participating.
Went into business for themselves and went, no, I actually don't like what you're doing here. And they let them know it. But honestly, really good crowd, pretty good show. Long show, but that was expected at SummerSlam. And this is, I believe, correct us if we're wrong, the biggest show crowd-wise that WWE has put on since Phil and I were in Houston in January of 2020.
Yeah.
So this was pretty big, even considering WrestleMania this year.
That stadium was just shy of 60,000. So I'm sure WWE announced it as 70,000.
Had to be.
Like, just
so the 51 plus tonight was probably more like 48.
I mean,
kind
of like, for example, like right now, RWP's at like 170 some odd subscribers, but we're just going to go ahead and announce we've already hit 200 subscribers by WWE standards.
2,000.
There you go. Yes.
So,
he's got the idea.
The Usos do pick up the win here. They retain. Chicken and I, you and I both gave it 3.5.
I thought it was a good match overall. Usos carried the whole thing, and Ray had really good spots. We all know Ray's kid. Everybody, like we talked about this during the match.
Needs to ripen a bit more.
He needs to ripen a bit more. We hope that, I personally hope the Mysterios break up, so you have a father-son rivalry. It'll help make his kid better. But I thought this match is going to be a lesson for him because the Usos did not slow down for Dominic. You know, like everybody slows down when Dominic's in a match. The Usos really didn't. There's a couple times maybe they hesitate a little bit, but it didn't seem like it. It didn't feel like it. And you see it in everybody else's matches.
Yeah, no, they laid their stuff in. I thought they had the match that they needed to have, and he just kind of was along for the ride. Ray was there to do pretty much everything he needed to do. Phil, you gave it 3 1/4.
I think the botches just kind of stood out to me a little too much. I like the Usos are good hands, and the fact that Dominic just about put one of them in the hospital, like now granted, every wrestler's had almost botches. It's the wrestlers who have the real bad ones that you hear about. So this is just one we're gonna be like, we're gonna take a few points off on that one there, Dominic, and wag our finger at you, but nobody's hurt, so it is what it is.
So let's talk about the next match, and that was, of course, the SmackDown Women's Championship of Bianca Belair defending against Sasha Banks. Oh, wait, hang on.
Nope.
Oh, no, sorry. Sasha Banks couldn't be here tonight. Taking her place, Carmella, to the biggest resounding
big boss man reaction.
Holy shit, the booze and the anger.
What there was no what you got was
as she's walking down strutting. Yeah, there wasn't whistles.
Bad.
It was.
Carmella looked like $1 million friggin' dollars, but she was out there knowing full well that this was not going to go over well.
Oh yeah, she was easy on the eyes, but what I'm saying is there's two different types of.
The crowd knew they got effed in that moment.
Well, yeah, there's fuck you, I hate you heat, and then there's no, I don't want to see this, and that's all that was. And the joke is that they sometimes would call that the boss man reaction. Big boss man for like a 2-year stretch just got no reaction.
So, yeah, there was there was a lot of speculation leading into this with Sasha Banks being off TV that this match wasn't going to happen, but they built it. They showcased it on the kickoff during the pay-per-view. Like, this is going to happen.
This was going to happen.
Okay, all right, this is happening. Fantastic. We're going to get to see the rematch from WrestleMania. Nope, she's not here. Your replacement's Carmella, and they're set up. They're ready to go. Carmella's in the ring. Bianca's there. Fine, let's do this. They're ready to ring the bell and go, and the crowd is pissed. But then
there's more.
Holy shit. Massive eruption.
Whoa!
Becky Lynch does, in fact, return. as we expected, here in this moment, Becky Lynch comes out to a massive crowd reaction. It was beautiful. She comes out, she gets in the ring, she takes the entire show and arena over, and they're just standing there with their thumbs up their ass, not even knowing what to do at this point, because they're like, oh, holy shit, we're in the presence of a legitimate star here at this point. We're just going to stand here like statues because we literally do not know what to do in this moment, and that's what they did. Becky took the ring over, and it was her show at this point. So then she beats the shit out of Carmella, knocks her out of the ring, rolls back in, and says, how about me? And Bianca's like, yeah, okay, that makes perfect sense. Let's do that.
Rock bottom.
Now,
No.
as we're watching, the three of us had the same reaction. Say no.
Yeah.
Say no.
Say no and turn
Fucking
heel.
say
Yes.
no. We want
heel.
the heel
Please.
turn from Bianca.
Do it.
We were begging
Do it.
for it.
Do it. No, she didn't do it. They ring the bell. She goes, all right, I'll shake your hand. And bam, rock bottom.
She got the Eric Rowan treatment.
1, 2, 3.
You wish I wasn't absolutely
And
true.
in the title match for the SmackDown Women's Championship between Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, the champ, Becky Lynch is your new champion.
Just like that.
Just like that. Don't get me wrong. Great move.
Missed heel turn.
Missed
like
heel turn.
completely.
Huge. Huge missed
If she
opportunity.
did the heel turn and then that happened afterwards, granted,
Yeah.
like it
That would have helped. But they did Bianca dirty here.
Oh yeah, they
They did.
buried.
buried her.
She had this big, awesome moment winning at WrestleMania. She's had the title since. I understand circumstances change with Sasha not being here tonight, but she's carried the division since WrestleMania, and this is how you're going to do her in like this. And not just that, but she has to eat this loss, drop the title after one move, and watch the gal that's been gone for almost 2 years celebrate. And she's got to just kind of waltz back to the back like, oh, well, that's how that goes. And you know the second that she gets to the back, she is just either distraught or pissed beyond belief. Maybe a combination of both.
I was about to
Because
say yes.
completely
Now,
unfair
guys,
to her.
guys, now let's come with me here.
All right.
We're gonna take a little
Come
journey,
with me,
and you'll see a world of wrestling conspiratorial theories.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right, let's hear it.
We're going
All right.
down the path of wrestling conspiracy
Oh,
theory
okay.
here.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do
All
it.
right. Now, as we all know, the four horsewomen are very fond of doing jobs.
Yes.
It's like their favorite thing to do. T.
I'm sorry. I thought we're like, is this opposite land?
Yes, actually, it is.
Okay.
I'm being sarcastic.
Okay.
So, as we all know, the four horsewomen, they're not all the keenest on
Yeah, no, they
jobbing.
don't like to lose,
No.
and they don't lose very well.
So you could honestly
In
see
fact-
this.
In fact, they don't lose better than most.
Yes, I
Yeah.
mean they're up there with the click. Not well, okay, they're not quite the click.
They're not there yet. They'll
Okay,
get there.
they're working on it.
They'll get there.
So
Jesus,
Sasha
you guys
Banks
are
fu-
working this one hard.
Sasha Banks finds out she's gonna lose. She's like, "Oh gosh, that's terrible." You know, Becky. You know what would be even crazier? What if rather than me going out and losing, you come out and win, and then I don't lose?
And you win.
Hey there, Buddha. How we doing there, good sir? Yeah, so I think that might be, call me crazy. And it's like, now, hey, Becky, why don't you call Vince and say, hey, why don't you have me come back and win the SmackDown title? Now, technically, I can't take any bumps or anything, but I can still hold a belt up.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
I can hold two.
you could
Working on it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Betty
I
two
just
belts. Now she's one belt.
I'm mostly just like, I think this was a great move. I think this was probably the right move. Becky Lynch is, even after the long layoff, she's still the most over woman on the roster. That's not even disputable. But you could have advertised this. You could have made this bigger. And you didn't have to bury Bianca Belair like this after she's
Bianca
done.
did wrong
Yeah,
tonight.
she just got done dirty.
I wasn't even a big fan of hers. Like I said,
You don't have to be.
I think she would be a great heel, but not a huge fan of hers.
Don't
But
have to be. in
oh
this
my
moment.
god, like she got done wrong,
Yeah.
big time.
yeah.
I gave it, let's see, 2 stars for this. It wasn't even a match. It was mostly the presentation, the build-up of the match, and the celebration for Becky afterwards. I gave it 2 for that. As a match, it wasn't even 1 star. Chicken, you gave it 2.5. Phil, you didn't even rate it.
I almost feel that's appropriate, but
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna stick with 2.
Okay. Yeah. Presentation-wise, that's fair. So we do move along after a long commercial break because, of course, we did. And we got to the one that I think really everybody was looking forward to the most, and that's obviously the Jinder Mahal match where he takes on Drew McIntyre.
God.
You know, the 3-man band match. Like, this had...
When you talk about the
Super Bowl
great
level
super matches
implications
that we never got to see, like, we never got to see
God.
Hogan versus Austin.
If only Heath Slater were the guest referee here. Man, this was so good.
We never got to see
possibilities.
the possibilities.
The Rock versus Randy Savage.
Oh my God!
But
Piper,
we finally tonight got to see
Piper versus MJF. I
yes,
know.
but tonight we got to see Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal.
We got to see that.
I'm so glad I was
Christ.
there for it.
I know. Like, I feel like we've all grown.
We were all touched.
This was a match, and honestly, we were all pretty distracted because
I mean, absolutely fucking correct. Bianca Belair got done almost as dirty as Phil K.O.E. because this rapscallion ne'er-do-well hangs on to his championship by
the balls that Tantui 10 Man has sometimes.
they're fucking huge. Like they have to be
me.
just massive.
Tantui 10 Man is fake news. So Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal. I didn't love this match. This was just more of the let's showcase Drew McIntyre as a bumbling fool who's a complete Scottish stereotype.
So did
with
the
a kilt
sword
and a
win?
sword. Yeah, the sword, because that had to be the big thing about it. This is so stupid. Drew McIntyre.
But like, does the sword have a record now? Like,
I think undefeated. Let's go with that.
Want to know?
This
Anyways.
is ridiculous. Like, Drew McIntyre was what carried your company through the COVID era, through the Thunderdome, through the crowdless nonsense, hard times, right? And this is how you do it.
Damn right, Tantui 10 Man.
No.
You're fake news, Tony G.
Yeah, well, at least I know I have capital letters
Fake
in my
news.
name, so suck it. Anywho, so Drew McIntyre, of course, won this thing. It wasn't anything to write home about. Nobody really gives a shit. I hope this doesn't go anywhere, and I hope this isn't something that we continue. Like, honestly,
I hope this is a Cactus Jack,
Jinder
Terry
Mahal
Funk
is
level
going
feud
back
that
to-
just goes on for
You
decades.
shut your whore mouth.
all of my worries ended tonight. All the things like if
Yeah.
Jinder Mahal won or Goldberg won, like
Yeah.
all these things that didn't happen, I am happy.
Yeah.
Jinder Mahal got a spotlight.
And he can go back to main event now.
You know
That's
what?
fine.
You know what? He didn't totally fuck the night up like others did. So like
No, that's usually his bread and butter.
he might be considered on next pay-per-view.
I'll give it a thumbs up.
Maybe he'll get a story still.
Yeah, I hope not. Anywho, so I gave this one 2 stars. Chicken 175 and Phil 175.
Yeah, it was bad.
You guys want to up
It
that?
was
No.
a
That's fair.
typical Jinder Mahal match. And Jinder, just like I said to you when you were in Lincoln, Nebraska, the last time you were in Lincoln, Nebraska, when all the lights went out and the crowd went quiet, it was me that screamed at you as loud as I could so the whole arena could hear me and everyone reacted. You're still a jobber! And yes, you're still a jobber right now.
You know what proved it? Even when he was champion, if you'd watch the on-demand versions of like Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, they'd shorten them up a little bit, like they'd trim the fat out of the show, and they'd skip the commercials.
And that was Jinder.
They would trim out
The
the
Jinder.
champion segments.
Jinder.
That
Yeah.
sums you up. I'm
So
sorry.
the less said about this, the better. Let's move on.
You're right. This has already been wasted. Let's get on to the triple threat match.
We're so sorry, Drew.
The Raw Women's Championship. Nikki A.s.h. defending the title against Charlotte Flair
Woo!
and Rhea Ripley. Now,
This one scared me.
Right woman won.
Almost. The title change did happen, but the right woman did not win.
So how many reigns is this for Charlotte? Is this 12?
Now they backed her up to, right? So it's
Yeah.
I think it's 12 because
I
it was
think
14.
we're at 12. they had her at 13. They took 2 off, so now she's at 12. Like, honestly, at this point, it takes Zach Galifianakis level mathematician from The Hangover.
Oh, wow. So they
figure out-
knocked off for NXT. So that's how low they consider NXT now amongst Bruce Pritchard,
At
Laurinaitis, and McMahon.
When that happened, we should have known where Vince saw NXT.
Now this is what you got to realize. NXT, it's just not a brand. We can't consider them world champions. He's absolutely right, Vince. He's absolutely right. I mean, Bruce has got a really good point there. Thank you, John. Thank you very much.
Spoiler alert.
You don't need to listen to Hunter. You need to just listen to us. We've proven that we can get you through, like those great times, like, when CM Punk left.
Yeah, spoiler alert. So Charlotte wins this triple threat match. This was actually really good.
It was.
Believe it or not, Charlotte won, and she was really on point tonight. She just seemed like she was really on point and on step and didn't miss a beat. And she didn't sandbag anything. She didn't miss anything.
So did she end up winning?
She did win. It's weird that she was so on point and won the match. Crazy how that happens with those.
When you're on, you're on.
Yeah, but no, honestly, I have no complaints about this match. This was really good. Nikki as the champ, it didn't matter. We knew this wasn't going to be her night. Our champ picked her, and somehow he still ends up the champ. But these are the screwy rules.
By a tie.
Triple threats always go crazy, and this was no exception.
I was about to say, Chicken, I would not be too confident in that title reign there, sir. I mean, it could be.
I'm fine.
Like, it could be just.
Yeah,
coming back home any moment.
This thing was actually a really good match. Charlotte did she usually does the moonsault off the top rope to the outside. She did a twisting one tonight.
Corkscrew jump and
yeah, this was really good.
She did a perfect jump.
Yeah,
that corkscrew was one of the
girls down below weren't in position, but you can't.
They never are every time Charlotte does this. Like you would think with every time she does it and how many times she does it, the people that she keeps wrestling time and time again, like, unfortunately, Charlotte's going to blow her knees out.
Eventually, yes. But no, she was on point here. Rhea looked great here. Everybody was where they needed to be. Typically, you have these triple threat matches and somebody just spends the majority of it on the outside. They just trade places. But honestly, that didn't happen the whole match here. Just in the right spots and then again at the end. And of course, Charlotte does get the figure 8 and the tap out victory on Nikki as expected. So Charlotte is a champion again. Congratulations to you. It's get your wins back, get your titles back that they've stripped from you for no discernible reason. But this was a really good match. I enjoyed it. I gave it 3, as did Chicken. Phil, since Charlotte won, you were a big whore and gave it 3.75.
Well, it was a good match. And also, again, our fan of the night, Tantui 10-Man, Tony G.
Definitely not our fan of the night.
Fakest news possible.
Tantui 10-Man's almost as big as whore as you.
Almost. Let's be frank.
That's a big call.
So let's to me, I enjoyed this match. It also put me quite a bit ahead at the time.
It had me sweating a little bit at that point.
Oh, you were more than a little sweating. There was about an hour there.
Actually,
Chicken had just resigned his reign.
Was I ahead at this point? I was ahead.
Oh, Tony was ahead almost the entire night.
Second half of the card, I was ahead for the whole thing because I had my 2 and 3 point matches wrapped up at this point. So we moved along to Edge versus Seth Rollins, and this thing was fantastic. Was not just the match itself, but the build, the package looked great, and the entrances were fired. Like, Rollins looked like a complete chode coming out, played it perfectly. And then the big story here on the entrance is Edge comes out to the old school rude entrance music and entrance. This was amazing. I never in my life expected to see that again. That was incredible. And then it fades.
I think that's going to be the last time we see that.
You're never going to see it again. This was awesome. Great entrance.
Phil,
and he came in.
Phil and I, like, as the entrance started, we're like sitting about 10 feet from the TV. And then, like, by the time Edge was like, it's all dark, red flames everywhere, we were like 3 feet from the TV stand there just staring at it like fucking 12-year-old kids, just amazed. Like, it was great.
You get lost in the moment, like, oh my God, this is nostalgic, but he looks like $1 million.
And give credit. All credit where credit's due to Seth Rollins for one of the standing in the ring, staring and letting that red light hit his face at just the right angle. That's up there. That's top 10 competitor in the ring watching. Now, the number 1 of all time, none will ever top it. Undertaker versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. SummerSlam, was it 98?
Yeah.
Or where Steve Austin he's kind of like slack jaw. He's just
Highway
like,
to Hell.
he's just like looking like this. Just
it's hard not to just get lost in that moment.
Yeah, and it was the Undertaker's coming down.
This was reminiscent of that, exactly.
And so I had to give some due props to that. I had Rollins in this one because your challenger always takes the next stake up for you, K.O.E.
the
Nation.
Other side of a coin flip match, but I digress. So that
one could have gone either way.
This one could have
until the entrance.
Yeah, then it was done. Edge did get the win here, but this match was fucking fantastic. These guys bumped their asses off. Edge was on point. He took an ass beating. Seth Rollins gave everything he had in his arsenal. All the best stuff, the classic stuff. Edge was on. Oh, this was amazing. Edge even got countered a spear into a freaking pedigree in this one.
Yep.
This was a great match.
I've never seen that in all my life.
No,
and
this
that was done
awesome.
About as well as you could hope.
Yeah, really, as safely as possible. Like, this was a great match. I loved this. I could watch this one back again. The superplex into the Falcon Arrow this time around with Edge was one of the best I've seen in a long damn time. This did not just bring back some legitimacy to Seth freaking Rollins, but even in defeat, this is the best Seth Rollins I've seen in over a year, easily, maybe 2, because he's really just been treading water, and this brought back a lot of legitimacy to him. Steven says, I called the Brock Lesnar return. I was thinking at the end of the Roman versus Cena, it would be crazy if Brock Lesnar came out. I did not see it coming. I thought they'd for sure hold that off, but you know what? The way that the show ended, that was the right thing to do at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The Brock coming out, like, again, with all the surprises that the competitions had, and everybody's been buzzing about them, they needed to raise some buzz, and Becky and Brock is a good way to do it.
That is a good way to do it. But yes, Edge
and
Rollins, I thought this was fantastic. I love the work right here. And it did keep you guessing even throughout until the end. I loved it. Edge gets the win. Great match. I gave it 4.25. Chicken, you did as well. Phil? 4.
I gave it 4 stars, mostly because the wrong guy won.
Yeah,
mostly that.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing match.
Great match.
One of the better of the year, really.
Yeah, this one's right up there for me.
I agree. It was captivating, held you through from start to finish. Like, there was a lull where, like, at first I was knocking it to where Edge was just getting his ass kicked for the first, 8 minutes.
Yeah,
but I was like, but he was doing it well.
Yeah.
Like, just
better than most.
Just kind of stepping back and going, okay, yeah, this is what he's supposed to do right now. So, and then, the pace picked up and it got exciting again. Yeah.
Now, you know who really should be pissed off about this? Like, there's one person who needs to be more angry about this match than really anybody else in the roster or anybody else in history. Randy Orton. Because this was actually better than the greatest match in wrestling history.
It's because Randy Orton's boring most of the time, but I digress.
He was on point tonight. He was fucking great to watch.
It only took 2 other people to work with him to do it. So
Ouch.
In attack.
So anyways,
yikes.
So, 4.25, and 4. This was an awesome match. And
match of the night, I'd say.
After
I agree.
After a great match like that, you got to slow things down and really bring the crowd back to reality. And there's really no better way to do that than 2 of the slowest workers in the history of the sport, and Bobby Lashley and Bill
Goldberg. I hate to say that there was about 30 seconds where I just wanted to see it. I wanted to see Goldberg hit the spear. The crowd there was not of my opinion.
There was about the entirety of the match where I thought one of these guys is going to get hurt for the rest of their life, because every time Lashley tried to do a move, Goldberg still to this day in his 50s doesn't know timing. And
to be fair, Bobby missed timing too.
Not as bad as Bill, and Bill tried to take a spear twice.
They both kind of skipped out on timing class day.
Do you know how to take a spear? Do you know how to take a spear? You kind of jump half-ass up in the air just about 2 inches, and you crumple forward. Because that's what Bill Goldberg did. It was awful.
Because, well, you got to realize Bill Goldberg's instinct is, all right, so someone's going to spear you. So what do? Instead, you spear them. Ah! So, yeah.
But now that he's 50, it's get up and act like a sack of potatoes.
He got
Bobby Lashley versus a 200-pound sack of potatoes would have been a better match.
Okay. Maybe
Yes.
180 pound.
So the match played out to where Goldberg ended up with a knee injury apparently, and Carl Brown got beat up for a little while.
Spot
Okay,
on the outside.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know.
And they call the match because he can't get up off.
They couldn't even. Yeah,
they've been doing that a lot lately.
They
Ref
couldn't
calls.
get to the point. This is the WWE title match, and Goldberg couldn't be bothered to stand up and eat the spear in the 1, 2, 3. The ref called this thing. And then Goldberg's son had to come out and get beat up.
Meanwhile, the whole time the crowd's booing.
Yeah, it was bad.
Crowd hated
terrible.
it. Crowd
No. Like Adam Blampier pointed out one time, they were really just so interested in the match. They were just enamored by it, and you could hear them because they were just going, ooh, ooh.
Oh, so
you could just hear
like
them all go, ooh.
Right. Yeah, that's not how that went. That is not how that went.
Jesus.
But yeah, you keep pretending. Steven says, I thought the Goldberg match was botched. I was hoping to see a good match. Then his son came in there, was going to set up a feud. Honestly, at this point, Goldberg needs to go away for a while because they've buried him in those last 3 appearances now. So the mystique is gone. He's very, very beatable. In physical shape, he looked great tonight. Match-wise, this was so bad. And this was expected because Lashley's never been a ring general. His timing has always been shit, but he's in the best run of his career. But this was still a bad match to do when you actually do it. On paper, it looks amazing.
Best run of his career, it's because his mic work's got like 1.5% better than what it used to be.
No, his mic work didn't get better.
Who's next?
He got MVP. Yeah. He got MVP back as a manager. That's why his mic work has gotten better. And that's why I gave it 1.75. I probably would have given it 1, but MVP's work in this match, doing everything he possibly could, was worth 0.75. So I gave it 1.75. Chicken gave it 1 because it was bad. It was pretty bad. Phil still managed to give it a 2.5.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I was gonna say defend.
But yeah, Steven says, do you guys think since Lesnar's return we will see Lesnar versus Lashley?
I don't want to.
I'm gonna touch on that after we talk about the next match, actually, Steven. So stay tuned, please, and thank you for joining us. It's time for the main event. It's the champ, Roman Reigns, Universal Champion, against 16-time John Cena. Holy shit. This thing was this was perfect, honestly. I love
this was a great match.
Everything about this. The entrance of John Cena, just like, holy shit, this guy is motivated. He looks like $1 million. We haven't seen this guy in a while. It's big match, John. He's got the custom shirt, towel, everything. You're like, holy shit, it's big match John back again. And then Roman comes out with the Usos and their tag belts, and Paul's got his Universal title, and he's looking all Paul Heyman-y, and they've got the tribal lays, and they just look like $1 million. And he sends the Usos back, and he milks the entrance. Everything is on fire. This was just stellar. John Cena keeps going for the quick roll-up, just out of nowhere surprise pins. And he keeps coming really, really, really close every time he does it. But meanwhile, Roman Reigns is basically beating the ever-living shit out of John Cena throughout this entire thing. But then John would come back with another sneak attack roll-up. And it worked. Like, the pacing was good. Like, this was a good way to get John back in the ring and not make him just have an epic match right out of the gate. But still, they're having it. He's just selling his ass off for Roman. He's making Roman Reigns look like $1 million, but he's still making it look like, hey, I could win at any time. And he's mocking him the whole time. He's like, oh, 1, 2, 3, up, two, count. And he's like, I'm in your head. And you can see that. And Roman's facial expressions were on point this whole time. Like, shit, you are in my head, but I'm still going to beat the ever living shit on you. So both guys still look like they're
best
right
work of Roman's
in
career.
The thick of it this whole time. And then finally, once you start getting deeper into this match, That's when John Cena turns it on, and he starts hitting Roman hard. He hits Roman with a giant AA. You're like, okay, no, that's definitely not going to be the end of the match, but bam, it looked great. Roman Reigns with the Brock Lesnar 2.9 kick out. It was fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah, that was close.
Yep.
It was so good. Then they get on the outside. He's charging at John. He's going to hit him with the big drive-by, but no, John throws him up in the air. Big AA through the announce table. Quick, rolls him in. I'm like, oh, good God, here we go. It's going to be another kick out after an AA through an announce table. Sure enough, kicks out of a second one. Holy shit. The crowd just like, oh, I can't believe it. Wow. They keep going. Now it's back and forth. These guys are basically slugging it out. They're hitting each other with their best stuff. Superman punches and spear attempts and more. The STFU. Like, these guys were going back and forth. Just picture perfect. Big match, John. And they even said it. In the commentary. JBL used to call him Big Match John, and this is why. As John Cena puts him on his shoulders on the middle rope for the top rope AA, this surely has to be it. A third AA. 1, 2, and a kick out at the last second. I'm like, oh my God.
I was
At
like,
this moment, you're like, this is it. This is the moment where John Cena single-handedly gets Roman Reigns from that speed bump, even as a heel doing his best work of his career, over the speed bump. This is it. This cemented it. And at that point, you knew that Roman Reigns was going to retain. And eventually, it took a few more minutes, but he did. And this thing was fantastic. I love this match. The crowd loved it. The crowd ate everything of this up. This was fantastic. And this was two professionals doing a professional job, doing what they do best. Roman's in the prime of his career. This is the best thing he's ever done. John still has not missed a step. This was fan-damn-tastic. I loved it. Roman Reigns does retain. It cost me. I had 11 points. Phil had 12, and the champ, Chicken, also had 12 points. So he does retain in the event of a tie, but I'm just saying I had the balls to pick John Cena. You guys didn't. That's fine. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's just saying, you know, as a 9-time champion, you got to have the balls to make the big calls, and I went for it.
I
It
went with
cost me.
Seth
I have the balls to
Rollins.
win.
That's
So.
okay.
You had the balls to tie with
Be
me.
a
Don't
tie. Yeah.
There's more
to-
balls than he
to
has.
quote.
Well,
Yes,
you know,
but
I picked John
I was about to say, to
Cena.
quote, you know,
because, you know,
Rick, don't break your
That's
arm
fine.
patting yourself on the back there.
Yeah.
That's the PG version. But
Yes.
so
don't break your wrist. jerking
yes,
yourself
Chicken.
off.
Well done. Oh, yes, there we go. So Chicken has retained the championship this time.
We're getting there, but quickly. I'm sorry. I know I talked a lot about the match. What did you guys think of this?
For the final match of the night, like this cemented this. This was a very good SummerSlam event, all in all, and this capped it rightfully as the main event to the match. Like there were several good ones, there were several terrible ones, but my biggest thing, the reason I think SummerSlam was the best event so far of the year, was mainly because of the amount of matches, like 10.
And it was one
Yeah.
night.
And it was what?
And it was one night.
Yeah. We can do 10 matches in one night
Yeah.
and still be very entertained.
11 technically.
When you do 5, all these shows that they do 5, and
They're
you know
throwaway.
2 of them are going to be total trash. They're going to be 1 or 2 star matches.
Yeah.
Yep.
You might get a 4-star once every 3 months. The other 2 are going to be just shit you could have done on Raw or SmackDown, and there's no point in doing it.
And tonight you had a whole bunch of 3-star plus matches, and I'm going to go ahead and say it now. This had at least 2 4-star matches with the Edge match and this match.
Yep.
Roman and Cena. I'm going to give this 4.5. This was the match of the night for me.
Wow. Chicken?
I might have to. 4.25 still match of the night though.
Okay.
I'm going to stick with 4 stars.
Okay.
I enjoyed this, but I found this and the Edge match to be enjoyable equally, but in different
Yes.
ways. So that was me. Both of them.
Yeah, Tony, read the screen.
A loss is a loss, dog. You know what, Dalton? I'm just glad you know how to spell dog. Anywho, so
Maybe if you spot on the D and the O.
well, I was going to say, can I buy a vowel? Okay.
Somebody's a little bitter about losing.
No, I'm just saying I had the balls to go out on a limb and again
And make a shitty pick.
It cost me again because I do the same thing every month. I'm not going with the Vegas odds.
We
favorites.
figured this
I'm
out.
Not going
If
with
Tony,
the podcast, I'm going from the heart.
If
folks.
Tony wouldn't have done
Going
what we
heart.
did with Reigns, is his confidence pick, he would have won.
I don't know. Well,
doesn't really
I'm sure
matter.
Tony's gonna punch the math like 100 different ways on the way
win
home.
is not a win, and I'm not gonna go for that here, guys. It's a moral victory for me, really.
All right. Well,
so
but
folks,
I digress. This match was fantastic, and the follow up, yes. After the match is over, big surprise. John Cena's laying there defeated. Like this was the biggest. Forget beating Undertaker at WrestleMania. Nobody wanted to see it. The timing is wrong, and he was not in the right place when he did it. Let's just forget that match ever happened.
I don't think I can. It hurt too much.
Yeah, I know. This match was what really put Roman Reigns over. His heel work has been spot on. This is the best run of his career. This win over John Cena in this moment, after a match like that, after kicking out of 3 AAs, this is the one. This gets him to that next level. And then after that,
I think this keeps him champ till WrestleMania at least.
At least Survivor Series.
Well, it does depend on what they're going to do because, yes, after John Cena's beaten and defeated, laying in there in the ring, Brock Lesnar does, in fact, return to this. Not just Brock Lesnar, but now face Brock Lesnar with the ponytail looking like a
Beast Lesnar.
Beast Lesnar that's like a martial arts master-looking ponytail Brock Lesnar. And he comes out, and they have a stare down, and Paul Heyman's there, and everybody's like, holy shit. Roman just kind of slinks off into the distance. Steven says, CM Punk doing the startup show to SummerSlam. I'm like, he's a AEW.
Ouch, but
yeah,
somewhat accurate.
But that's the thing. Like, this has been a huge weekend overall because you did have CM Punk finally returning at AEW. Granted, all he did was come out to a massive reaction, cut an awesome promo, and that's it. He hasn't even wrestled a match. Great stuff. Dalton stuff says, at least I know how to spell dog. That's classy, but we're not about class here. Go.
You sound like McGregor after a defeat.
Oh,
you mean badass, still charismatic, and still awesome? Yeah. Oh, you're right. I do. I do sound like McGregor.
Sure.
And drinking Irish whiskey, strangely enough.
Yeah. What? Was that supposed to be an insult? Was that supposed to be? At best, that was best, that was like a left field ball. But, hey,
it was a fine insult.
That was a ball. That was a walk-off ball.
I'm going to fight you, son of a bitch.
It's plenty fine.
Of course it was, because you're also a bitch too. But hey, anyway, so Brock Lesnar is the way that you close this thing out. You've got the Brock Lesnar return. You got the Becky Lynch return. You've got the CM Punk return, all in one big weekend. And this isn't even over, folks. It's only Saturday night, and tomorrow has.
I just hope we keep trying to see them overdo each other now. Like,
God,
that'd be nice.
Wouldn't that be great?
Now, I just love in all of that, Paul Heyman looked like
he sold it more than anybody.
He looked like
amazing.
The cheating girlfriend who used to be with dude A and then cheated on him with dude B.
Amazing.
And now finally dude A is finally in the room like, oh my God, I didn't mean it. He means nothing to me. Oh, please don't hurt me. Like,
Paul looked great.
That was Paul.
Honestly, I thought they cheated Paul on the camera a little bit. Like, he should have been the focus.
He was selling it like crazy.
He did, because he didn't know if they were going to show him or not.
He knew how to look devious just standing there by Roman.
It was good. I loved it.
Nods evilly.
I love it. Honestly, I'm excited to see this. Like every time that they have done Roman versus Lesnar, like nobody's give a shit.
All right.
But everybody's gonna be excited for this.
For those Twitch politics fans, can we just say it? Like, did he not look like a ripped out Vosh? Brock Lesnar walks out.
I was about to say you're complimenting Vosh pretty heavily.
Yeah, possibly. But I was like, oh my God, that's probably what Vosh thinks he looks like.
Well,
now you know what my favorite nickname I've heard for Vosh is? Man bun pig.
Brock did have the man bun rock.
Man bear pig.
He looked amazing.
So yes, we've got.
Do you think Vosh looks amazing?
Yes. Oh my God. Every time.
Just clearing it up.
Just gonna fan myself off. No,
I'm
honestly,
clipping
this was good. This was good. This was a really nice show. It did go a little longer than their standard stuff, but honestly, you got 2 4-star matches out of this, a couple of really bad
It was
matches,
worth it.
2 massive returns. Honestly, this was a really good show. Biggest one they've had since Royal Rumble in 2020, back in January of 2020. This was a big deal. Glad we got to see it like this. It was a really fun watch. And honestly, like, this one was tight through the whole damn thing. And you guys were sweating until the end. And honestly, that made it better for me. I'm like, halfway through, I'm like, oh, there's fucking no way Cena's going to win this. But they're still sweating it out. And it made it so enjoyable.
There's unfortunately, like, this pay-per-view was missing one thing that, usually.
A Tony G title win.
Well, no, another thing that's usually a prerequisite for the major pay-per-views. I'm shocked we didn't get one.
What?
And that was the obligatory match featuring the best in the world, Shane McMahon. Like, I'm shocked we didn't get an obligatory Shane match.
Oh, darn.
That shows me that this was all hands on deck.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when Vince came out, like at when everything opened up, we went live. He just comes out and goes, "Where y'all been?"
Yeah.
And he walks out.
What was
like that's it.
Did we address Steven's comment from before when he asked about Lesnar? I'm sorry. I just wanted to go back and make sure we answered that. Do you guys think Lesnar's return, we will see Lesnar versus Lashley? Now, I did want to touch on that because I think this is interesting. Lashley did retain here. Obviously, we expected that. So Lashley, by all accounts, will be the champion on Raw going into Survivor Series. Will Brock Lesnar beat Roman Reigns at, we assume, Extreme Rules? If that happens, we very well could see Lashley versus Lesnar, and that is a match. I kind of wanted to see that happen at SummerSlam, but as time went on, we were like, okay, that's not going to happen. But that's been a match that the fans have been clamoring for a while. It makes perfect sense. They both have an MMA background. Like, they're both jacked to the gill. They're both Lashley's in the prime of his career. Brock's really never not been in the prime of his career. So this is one that it sounds good on paper. Will it be great in execution? I don't know. It's going to be better than Goldberg, I'll tell you that much. I hope it does. Honestly, I'm kind of hoping for it. I kind of want to see this happen. At the point that Extreme Rules happens, if we get the Lesnar versus Roman Reigns Universal title match, Roman Reigns will have held the belt for over a year. And at that point, you start to get the title fatigue. You start to get the champion fatigue, and people will be ready for something different. And Brock Lesnar is definitely 110% something fucking different, especially as a face without Paul Heyman. Haven't seen that in a long damn time. So if you put the belt on him there and you have Lashley versus Lesnar at Survivor Series, holy shit. That's something. That's big.
I think they're going to milk this return. I don't think they give the belt to Lesnar anytime soon. There's going to be.
I would wait.
The family.
They seem to have a hard time getting him off of him when he gets him.
Hasn't been a face in a long time either, though.
Well, so he'll take a whole bunch of interference matches. Usos come in, ruin a bunch of things to get through Survivor Series. And then you start setting up for WrestleMania to where Lesnar finally takes it off of him. If Lesnar's going to stick around that long, is he going to be a part-timer still?
Right. And I think that's the big thing, though. Like, the problem with booking Brock Lesnar has been it's become almost too predictable. They set it up to where he's this unstoppable force until you beat him at WrestleMania. And that's kind of been his lot in his career with WWE the last few years. So now that he's, albeit a face, without Paul Heyman, all bets are kind of off. Like, this is territory that Brock Lesnar has.
As soon as he wins it, he goes back to heel. And
does he though? He doesn't have to at this point. He doesn't have to at this point because he's in the twilight. He's in the twilight of his career. Let's be frank.
Yeah, this is the last couple good runs.
This is one of the last few runs you're going to see out of him. So all bets are kind of off. You do not take Paul Heyman away from Roman Reigns right now. They're doing some of the best work they could. So do not fuck that up. If anything, separate them.
That makes me think that they're going to fuck that up.
They will fuck it up because it's WWE and that's what they do. So I don't know. Do we have a couple more comments? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
God. Sheesh, chicken.
I know. Let's see.
Brock comes out. Thanks for keeping my seat warm. My ass off. I gave up pay-per-view an 8.5. Honestly, this was way better.
Yeah.
Potentially could have been. You just went from dog to puppy, and oh no.
Oh, sheesh.
You know what? Puppies grow pretty quickly.
So how many pages?
I'll be back up.
How many pages are in that book? Like 2?
I don't know. Survivor Series champ versus champ. Lesnar. That's exactly it. I kind of want to see it. It makes sense. I just morbid curiosity more than anything. But it's been one of those matchups that they've kind of held off.
They kind of have to do it eventually.
Eventually, you got to do it. You got to do it before too long. I've heard Strowman's coming. If they don't hire him back. Honestly, if they don't hire him back and they don't hire Bray Wyatt back, basically, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
I understand trying to trim fat, but that was just a ridiculous move by all accounts. There's really nothing that they benefited from this. Like, why send 2 of your bigger names, 2 former Universal Champions out the door to go to the competition?
Makes no sense.
None.
Well, if you look at it from a certain lens.
Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania.
We can dream.
That's the thing that keeps me from thinking that they'll even dream about taking the belt off of Roman at this point. But it all depends on...
That would be like the biggest WrestleMania in how long?
It all depends on The Rock. Is The Rock going to be available? Because if The Rock is not available, you can take the belt off Roman for a little bit. You can get it back on him for the next one.
Doesn't mean the same, though.
He's held it for over a year.
I know, but
close
still
to
not
it
the
now.
same. Like, ooh.
He's held it. He's held the belt a lot of times.
350 some odd days for Roman now. So
yeah, and this is at least his second reign. You can take it off of him for a time period if you absolutely have to.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. But you got to get that Lashley Lesnar match somehow, and I don't know. We will see. So SummerSlam, honestly, there was a couple of surprises. A lot of stuff kind of went how we expected it to go. There's a lot of stuff to like moving forward. I don't know. The next thing that we got coming up is going to be AEW All Out. And we know that CM Punk...
September 5th. Be sure to join us here at Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast for that, folks.
So how do they count? Like, this has been big counter. Like, we've got Rampage on Fridays now. It's an hour-long show. They've only had 2, but it is countering against SmackDown. And right now, knocking it out of the fucking park. But how do you top CM Punk? Eventually, they'll probably debut Daniel Bryan. That'll be another way of doing it. But the returns only last for so long. And eventually you got to do it on the quality of work. And I don't think Rampage can keep pace with SmackDown. They just can't, not when SmackDown's getting 2 million views, even though that's not a great number on Fox. So it's on AEW to really knock this all out of the park. And I think the only way to do that is to have the Darby Allin CM Punk match on that show for sure. If you're going to have Daniel Bryan show up, you better have him show up before that so you can book him at least for an appearance on that show. This All Out needs to be big. It's got to be big because you've got Brock Lesnar back. You've got Becky Lynch back. John Cena just had a huge fucking match with Roman Reigns. I think they've got to go big here, and AEW has got to knock this one out of the park. They've done a pretty good job starting to slowly trim out some of the fat from what were the staples, just kind of the mid-card jobber guys having main card pay-per-view matches, and they've really got in some talent. So I'm hoping to see top to bottom a really good AEW All Out show this year. I don't know what to expect from Extreme Rules because at this time last year for Extreme Rules, we were watching the horror show, eye-gouging swamp fight cinematic bullshit matches between 2 guys who are ironically not with the company anymore.
Yeah. Now, let's see. We never got to see Triple H versus Strowman or AJ versus Shawn Michaels. Oh, that would have been so
AJ
good.
Styles versus Shawn Michaels that would be a 10-star match if there was ever such a thing.
The reason we never got to see Triple H versus Strowman is because Triple H would have had to do the job in that match.
Well, he'd have to, but that's
why it never happened.
He wouldn't have. Yeah. This is 2016 all over again with Becky, SmackDown champ, and Charlotte, Raw Women's champ. See, that's the thing. That's why I picked Sasha, or I picked
2016
Bianca
was
and
a pretty
Rhea.
good year.
That's why I picked Bianca and Rhea to win tonight because I wanted to see Bianca and Rhea champ versus champ at Survivor Series. I'm like, I think that makes a lot of sense, but yeah, they're going with the tried and true method here. And who's to say Charlotte's even champ? Because they do love to put it on her and rip it right back off. Becky's not losing the belt anytime soon right now. They just got it on her. They just got her back. It would make no sense to put it on her and take it back off. But hey, what does WWE know about making sense?
Now, you guys were talking about why do they release Strowman? Why do they release Wyatt? And something I want you to keep in mind, there's 2 things on every show. on every show, you're either one of two things. And once you realize this and you're ahead of a payroll and you're in corporate America, I want you to keep this in mind. There's two things. You're either the thing that sells the tickets or the thing that helps the thing that sells the tickets.
Yeah. Yep.
And everybody that's been getting cut is someone that, in Nick Khan's opinion, is you're just something that helps the thing that sells the tickets. I don't give a damn if, now, I think Bray Wyatt was a merch mover from everything I could see.
We saw it firsthand in Houston.
But
That was a ticket seller, merch mover.
It was.
Yeah, so that's the toughest one of them all, but he might have just been the king of the things that help the thing that sells the tickets as far as Nick Khan's concerned. So that's why that happened.
Yeah.
So we will see in the future, but yes, the K.O.E. Nation comes with more.
Rumors are Royal Rumble 2022 is going to be in St. Louis.
Ooh.
That's getting closer.
You may see me in St. Louis.
There's also
It's not that bad of a drive from
There's
here.
also talk that they're going to move Royal Rumble from January into February. Not that we're talking maybe a week or two difference, but that is pretty big considering the calendar on where it's always lied. But that does show full proof that they really don't trust their writers anymore.
Yeah. Because they can't make 2 months worth of content between Royal Rumble, which there really shouldn't be. Like, I remember back in the day, they do Royal Rumble, maybe one pay-per-view in the middle, and usually not, and they would just be
6-7 weeks of build
of TV,
of good TV.
That was all you needed. So,
but we're in a different day and age now, so that just kind of a testament to that. So, do we have anything else before we start signing this bitch up?
We only have a couple more comments here.
All right, what do we got?
AJ Styles, bodyguard.
Almost.
Yeah. What's his name? So you guys see getting singles run now. No.
They need to keep him tagged with somebody because he's still greener in grass.
He can't wrestle a match to save his life. Near Zach says 10 years in the making. And that, sometimes WWE stumblefuck finds their way into a long-term storytelling booking situation, but it's usually by accident, and somebody else has to point it out until they go, hey, look at the Undertaker streak. Nobody even knew that was a thing until somebody just accidentally noticed, hey, he's never lost at WrestleMania.
The streak is so
was
legendary.
the hottest thing for.
So
once they realized it became a hot thing.
Yes. Yeah. So, well, gentlemen.
I think it's time. Honestly, this was a really great show. A couple 4-star matches. Loved them. I don't care if you're a fan of WWE, NXT, AEW, or something else. It doesn't matter. 2 really good matches tonight. Edge and Rollins, Roman and Cena. Regardless of what you think of these people, great performances. Couple really good returns, and the competition knocked it at the park this week too. So, good week to be a fan. Finally.
Yep, I agree. You know who won tonight over everybody?
We did.
The fans. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. We finally got to see some real shows again. So, folks,
thank God.
As I'm known to say around here, all that being said, thank you for joining us this evening at the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast here on YouTube and Spotify. I am the devilishly handsome outlaw himself, your king of extreme, Phil K.O.E. You can find me at K.O.E. Nation on YouTube and Twitch. That is K.O.E. Nation on YouTube and Twitch. Folks, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. You can also find all 3 of us, this crazy cast of characters, over at Big Buckin' Empire for weekly news updates and talking about all the crazy stuff that happens in this crazy journey we call life. Big Buckin' Empire on YouTube and Facebook. Come join the party. But folks, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to join us on the 5th for All Out, folks. And there's going to be plenty more coming in between now and then. We're going to have Chicken with his top 10 United States champions of all time. There's going to be, it's happening, folks. It's happening. We're going to have a whole lot more coming here and at the K.O.E. Nation. Be sure to check out the 32 Ride tournament that's happening over there. Folks, God bless every last one of you. I hope to find you back here happy, healthy, much the wiser. Raise a glass to yourselves, gentlemen. Catch you on the flip side, folks. Chicken.
Right here, folks. Like, share, subscribe. Seriously, thank you, everybody, for coming back after the show to get our thoughts, get our review, get our results. Means the world to us. Love it. Whiskey Lovers Society.
Whiskey Lovers Society. Hey, how Lover Society.
Yes.
God bless.
Oh,
Cheers.
you don't know what it means to us.
Thank you.
Indeed.
God
But
bless,
yes,
man.
thank you, everybody. Champ, finish us off.
No, as always, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. Love you. Bye.